Cinephiles rejoice! David Fincher officially has a brand new film that is in theaters right now and is coming to Netflix this week. And man, oh man, if you love film, this will just reinvigorate and remind you why film is so important and why it's just such a great pastime. What's going on, buddy? My name is Zach, and if you guys enjoy geeky content or in general just love talking movies, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because this is the place for movie content, video game content, and TV content where we discuss it on a daily basis over here down below in the comment section. So make sure to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. How excited are you for Mank? What is your favorite David Fincher film? I'm not going to let you know mine yet because I will be doing a ranking of every single David Fincher film later this week. So if you want to tune into that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It follows Herman J. Mankiewicz in the 1930s Hollywood as he's reevaluating everything through his life. His scathing wit and alcoholism might get him into some trouble, and he is also trying to race to finish this movie, Citizen Kane, the famous film directed by Orson Welles. It's David Fincher. When David Fincher has a brand new film coming out, you're going to get instantly excited about it. Any project this guy touches, it's something that I'm definitely down for. You know, I loved his show Mindhunter. It's very underrated. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. Also over on Netflix. But over the likes of Gone Girl, Zodiac, Benjamin Button, Seven, Fight Club, the guy has pretty much one of the best filmographies out there. Once again, knowing that he was going to touch a certain piece of Hollywood in the 1930s, and it's about pretty much the development of Citizen Kane, but also a lot more than that. This sounded like a very personal piece from him. And adding in there that the script is actually written by Jack Fincher, David Fincher's father, which is actually even more personal to be added into this film. It also stars the likes of Gary Oldman, Tom Pelphrey, and even Amanda Seyfried. I was so excited for this. He's easily one of my most anticipated films for the later half of this year, a lot of the reason because of David Fincher. His filmography, nearly every single film the guy's ever put out is nearly perfect in every sort of way. And Mank follows that same trajectory. This is not going to be for everyone, though. This is definitely going to be a true cinephile, film fanatic, or in general, just anyone who loves that old classic 1930s classic filmmaking. This is the film for you. It really makes you feel like David Fincher truly made you step back into the past, make you feel like you're stepping into the 1930s to watch a film coming out in that era. And it's so magical in the way and a technical achievement of how he was able to do so, whether it's through the editing, which is wonderfully edited from every single scene, from the transitions to the script. All of it feels like it's perfectly mixed into this time capsule and makes me feel like I'm stepping into the 1930s, and there was just such a wonderful awe in the way that he was able to do that. Again, from the transitions, from the editing, even down to the sound and the cinematography, it all looked beautiful. One of the most touching aspects about this film is actually the parallels to Citizen Kane and Herman J. Mankiewicz. The way that this film is structured is very much in the likes of a Citizen Kane, which for me, I'm not the biggest fan of Citizen Kane. That's why I was actually a little bit hesitant towards this film until the trailer came out, until more details finally came out. I started finally really getting reevaluated into this, but I love the direction that they were able to truly take with this. And again, this feels like the least Fincher film that we've ever gotten, but that's a great thing because this is so different than anything that Fincher's ever done before. Again, that passion-filled project that you can definitely feel that since this is written by Jack Fincher, his late father, you can feel it all across the board as this film is going apart. The dialogue feels old-timely. Every single sequence and scene in here, again, makes you feel like a film that you were watching maybe in a film class that maybe developed your love for film, whether it's the Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Lawrence of Arabia. I loved how they were able to bring that all to life. And talking about that, is this his best film, though? And for me, it's not. It's maybe a little bit lower on the tier because, while again, his filmography is excellent, it's really hard to pick what a favorite is or even a top 5 is. It's truly top tier Fincher still, and it's some of the best that he's ever done, again, from that perspective of what Fincher deserves to do. Even though his directing and the writing from his late father is excellent in here, it's truly the performances that I think actually bring this whole world to life. Because you could have a technically amazing film, but if your performances are a little bit faulting, that can truly be where the film falters the most. Thankfully, they're not. Gary Oldman transforms into Herman J. Mankiewicz in every sense of the way. If I didn't know Gary Oldman was in that role, I would never have seen him. Every single sequence and moment with him, he is in the body. He embodies this guy, and it is absolutely insane. And again, the attention to detail of this character and actually looking up Herman J. Mankiewicz in real life, it is absolutely like mind-boggling to me how great he is in this role. We already know he's a great actor, but but he truly cements himself in this role. Also talking about Amanda Seyfried, who I've always adored, but I don't think she's gotten that role yet to push her to that next level. Thankfully, this is the role for her. And I think Amanda Seyfried, after this film, I fell in love with her in this, but I can't wait to see what she does next. I think this will really push her trajectory forward into that next level because she is a true scene stealer here, and every single moment I loved it. Him to probably one of the more underrated performances in here is Tom Pelphrey, who plays Herman J. Mankiewicz's brother. Wow, he was great in Ozark this year, and he's great in here as well. Wish he had a little bit more screen time, but again, for the story that they were telling, I understand. When it does come to Mank, though, like I said, this is top tier Fincher, but it's not my favorite. And there came down to be one issue I had with this film, and if this one issue was gone, I think I would have loved it just a bit more. And it's actually my same issue that I have with Citizen Kane, which is kind of ironic. And, you know, I get it. There's so many people out there that love Citizen Kane, but when it comes down to this film, and even that one too, the emotionality that I just couldn't get locked into this character, especially within the first act. And Citizen Kane, I actually have that issue pretty much throughout. Mank, you know, I never got truly emotional with this character, and I wanted to. I wanted to feel attached to him. But what I felt more attached to was the ode and the love letter to classic Hollywood inside this film. That's what I was more attached to in this film, and that's what reinvigorated me and made me love this film even more than most probably people will because of how much I love that old classic age. But I think that's what it was truly missing, and I wish it would harness just a little bit stronger. I think if this film was able to harness that emotional part in the first act, I would have been latched in a little bit stronger. But it probably took me 30 minutes to truly finally get invested in this movie. While I was looking at, wow, the dialogue's great, the performances are great, and you know, even the cinematography and the score I haven't even talked about from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which is, again, superb. It's something that I still needed, because every other Fincher film I've ever seen, all of them, for the most part, have that first act that really blows me away and gets me attached. There's a couple that don't, but definitely most of them do, and I wish this film would have done the same. I think that's what comes down to this. As Mank goes on, it gets better and better. David Fincher really went out there and made me feel like I stepped into the 1930s with Mank. A passionate love letter to this piece of Hollywood that reminded me and refueled my love for movies in such a great way. What a technical marvel and a technical gem this is. This is one of the most technically genius films that David Fincher has ever made, but also that I've seen in the last couple of years. From the cinematography, from the score, from the editing, from the transitions, to even the writing that really brought everything together. What makes Mank a masterpiece in a technical aspect. Even adding in Oldman and Seyfried are perfect. I wish the film would have grabbed me a little bit earlier into this so I would have felt fully invested. And again, I get the point of this film, but usually through most films, my best and biggest thing is character. And I think Mank is a little bit dark and desperate in there. And that's kind of my actually same complaint that I feel with Citizen Kane. A lot of people would argue with me on that. But for me, that's my one issue with Mank. And for me, I think true cinephiles and true film lovers, or people who love that classic element of Hollywood, will really find a passion-filled project within inside this. Very much one that I think Fincher is just in love with. I think he probably looks at this as probably being his best film yet. And I can't wait to see what Fincher does next. Hopefully, we don't have to wait another 6 years to see his next film. But God, Mank is truly worth your time if you are a fan of Fincher or in general just love filmmaking. And if you're a general movie-going audience, it's definitely worth a try. Let it suck you into the script, the world, and the characters, and maybe it'll whisk you away as well. So with all that said, I'm going to give Mank an A-. It's truly going to be one of my favorite films of this year, and it might even be one of your guys. So make sure to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. Did you guys like this film? Did you not? I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts, as well as hit that like and subscribe so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. Don't miss out on that Fincher ranking coming later this week. As well, guys, make sure to head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thing to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Thank you guys again, and of course, until next time, stay classy.